Timothy in 2 Timothy 2:2. What you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. He says, the stuff you teach, entrust it to the faithful people who will in turn pass it on and teach other people. You know, Ephesians explains that the role of the pastor, the evangelist, these spiritual leaders was to equip the saints for the work of service. So the goal, just like I want my daughter at a certain point to be able to leave the home and then start her own family, start her own life, and move on, get a job, in the same way, that's supposed to be the role of the pastor, is to teach you. And I'll always be here for my daughter, you know, but there's a time when it's time for her to move on. It's time for her to teach. And I believe that's the message of that Jesus called us to. That's the mission that he called us to go and make disciples, to teach faithful men who will in turn teach other people. And I want you to think, if you were the only believer, in Los Angeles right now, think about this. If you're the only, let's say Glendale, if you're the only believer in Glendale, you're here, you didn't have all these people around you, just you. Would you be able to stand your ground? Would you still be able to worship God even though no one else was around? Could you do that? Could you stand on your own 2 feet? Would you be able to continue to grow in this book? Are you trained well enough, equipped to where you go, no, I can stand on my own 2 feet. I know I've been taught how to study the Word of God. And you know what? I could keep growing in my walk with the Lord, even if God put me in a situation where I was by myself, because I know how to read this book. Man, you've got to know how to study this book. There's so many false teachers arising that you've got to know how to get into this book, get alone with God. Like Craig was saying, and pray for that illumination, but also know how to study this book. And go, God, what are you telling me to do? What are you asking me to do? What is the Word of God saying? Could you do that if no one else was in Glendale? You're the only believer.